Welcome in, welcome back for the Real Selection Committee. My name's Mike, this is Greg, and we're coming to you with Week 5 predictions here. This is a huge week here in the SEC, and the Big Ten has some good matchups here going on. This is the week I think it's starting to shape and mold some of these teams that are going to make it into the playoffs, and the top tier teams here with some of these matchups. The SEC is going to be hot coming into this week here. Yeah. So let's dive into the first matchup we're going to go over. We're going to go over Alabama and Georgia. Georgia right now has are favored by 2.5 points. Over-unders 54.5 points. And how do you see this game going out here?
I have no idea. Here's the one thing I'm going to say. It's kind of like last year repeated. Both these teams, especially Alabama, focus. Alabama the focus hasn't returned. Mm-hmm. That's why they lost to Florida State. And the last 2 games they played, they really didn't need a whole lot of focus in because they played, I can't remember the one team, but then they played Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin just lost to Maryland by a similar score of what they lost to Alabama.
Wisconsin's not very good.
So I'm wondering about Alabama's focus. I think Georgia has looked the better team this far. Mm-hmm. But this game's going to be outstanding because anytime you get an Alabama team and a Georgia team together and there's something riding on it in the SEC, and really, if Georgia wins this game, it puts them right in line to be the top team. Mm-hmm. Alabama needs this game. Mm-hmm.
This is a need game.
They need this game. They do not want to drop to 2-2. I'm going to let you state what you say before I give my prediction.
Yeah. So this is a home game for Georgia. That's why I think they get that 2.5 little favorite there.
Absolutely.
Because it's a home game. This is a battle of kind of, let's see what type of quarterbacks these guys are. Ty Simpson starting to get it right. Looking a lot better, but those were mop-up teams there. Yeah. And then Gunnar Stockton looked very good in this Tennessee game here, put up big numbers in that game here. As far as what I see in this matchup here is the defense here. How is this defense is going to face each opposing quarterbacks here? Alabama, I think, is going to put a lot of pressure on Stockton here. Stockton is the better running back quarterback here. Yeah. So he can creep out a little bit. Now you got Ty Simpson, who is a very mobile quarterback. Yeah. He can move, but he's a better arm here. What I see in this game coming up here is, can Alabama's offense get it going here against Georgia's defense? I think that I like Alabama in this game a little bit more. They need this game a little more. They want to show who they are. But, man, this is a tough game right here. Yeah. With that being said, it's a home game. I'm going to go with Georgia to win this game. I'm going to, in the score here, this is going to be a tough game here, but I'm going to put it at 27-23 Georgia.
I got Georgia as well. I thought, Bama has played much better since the Florida State game. But I can't get that game out of my head. I mean, there's no way. Of course, we've seen a lot of no ways going on this year. No way Bama should have lost Florida State. So I got Georgia winning this game 24-17.
Like you said, they looked like last year's Alabama, and you keep harping on staying focused. In that first game against Florida State, they just got pushed around. Yeah. They just got pushed around in that game. And I think Georgia's defense is another team that's going to push them around a little bit. And I see Georgia being good enough to win this game.
Absolutely, they're good enough.
So that's the game. That's how I see that game is. Now, the second game on this slate here is another. This may be even the bigger game of the week.
The bigger game, without question.
With Oregon traveling to Penn State here. let's see. Both these teams to date have not really had a big game on their resume here. This is it right here. This is their resume builder right here. How do you see this game playing out here?
Boy, this game, much like the Georgia-Alabama game, is hard to call. It doesn't have the history, the historical rivalry that the other one does. But for this year, this is a really big matchup. Okay? Because, boy, Oregon's up and down the field fast, and they've gotten beefier. They aren't just a little fast team anymore. Penn State's kind of a bust you in your mouth, big power team, although Penn State can play with anybody. I think it's in Penn State.
It's in Penn State.
Oregon's got to come all that way across the country, over all the time zones. It's in Penn State's advantage. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, Oregon did it all last year, and all they did was go undefeated.
Yeah. So right now, as it sits, the Penn State's favored by 3.5 points, and it's a 53.5 over and under here. What we have here is Dante Moore is replacing Dylan Gabriel from last year. He stepped in here. He's a mobile quarterback, looking good. He's got this offense moving the ball. DeCorian Moore's a stud receiver on this team here. And now we look at Penn State. When we did our preseason stuff here, we looked at the roster that Penn State has. So many returning guys, offensive lines returning 4 of the 5 guys, 2 returning stud running backs, Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. And then now you got the quarterback, Drew Aller. This team has brought back all these guys for a reason here. They got national title hopes in mind here. So this is a heck of a matchup here with 3.5. The bookies, these guys are saying this is an even matchup here, except for it's at Penn State. That's why they're getting that 3.5 spot. They're just slightly thinking Penn State is the favorite in this game. It's going to be a night game. White towels, white out here. That's an impressive stadium to play for. Loud. It's going to cause problems for Oregon in this game here. And like you said, they're traveling east. I got Penn State winning this game. My score is going to be 34-27 Penn State. They're going to cover, and they're going to get over.
I've got Penn State winning as well because here again, I'm going experienced quarterback versus non-experienced quarterback. Although the kid from Oregon, Moore, has been getting lots of reps, lots of play, and is looking good. And I don't care who he's playing. He's got to have confidence in himself at this point. But I think Penn State gets it done, but I think it's going to be a very, very close game. I'm going 28-27 Penn State.
All right, so let's move on to our third game on the board that we have. We got LSU traveling Ole Miss. Here's a game of 2 undefeated. This is another, like we said, this SEC's heating up. This is another big game here. You don't want to fall far behind here. Ole Miss is favored by 1.5. 1.5 points. This is about as even as you can get. 52.5's the over-under here. It's a 3:30 start time at Ole Miss. How do you see this game playing out here?
Well, this is going to be an interesting game. I originally did not think Ole Miss was all that good. And LSU comes in highly rated. Ole Miss coming in, and now they weren't off the charts bad, but Ole Miss got a really good win over a decent Tulane team yesterday, 45-10. Just blew them right off the field. Which impressed me. I know a lot of you were going to say, well, they're not. Tulane's a good football team, and Ole Miss blew them right off the field, as well as beating Arkansas, one of their rivals earlier in the year. LSU has the big wins against the teams that are 1-3 each, but that being said, Clemson and Florida are not bad teams.
No.
They're just playing bad right now. Interesting game, hard to call because you don't know which team is what. Ole Miss is another one of them teams that every time you think you got your finger on them, they move the other way. Kind of like in Alabama. I'm going to let you decide what you think, too.
Yeah. So to me, this is an interesting game. You got a Heisman guy in the waitings with Garrett Nessmeyer, and then now you got Ole Miss with a backup quarterback starting, Trinidad Chambliss, who played last weekend against Tulane. You said here,
yeah.
4 touchdowns in that game. What a big victory for Ole Miss.
Yeah.
He's a different type of quarterback. You know, he's a mobile quarterback, can move the ball. He's got Ole Miss looking good, but I'm going with the experience. LSU's got a lot of kids back, hit the transfer portal hard. Grade out, grade on defense, grade out, grade on offense. They got good receivers. I think this is an LSU game here to win. I got the road guys going on the road here. LSU winning this game. It's only 1.5. I got them covering that and winning the game.
Yeah.
So as far as the score, this is another game that I think, man, I really struggle with this game of being a defensive battle here. But I think it's going to be right around that 56 here. I got about 34-31, which is a little bit over. But that's where I see this game playing out at.
Here again, I got another. I got LSU over Ole Miss. I think LSU's the better team, the better players. I think it's going to be another barn burner. It's going to be a little bit lower scoring to me, 27-22.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing here. I'm looking at LSU's defense, who has shut down some good teams as the season stopped. Florida, 5 interceptions in that game here. I just think that Ole Miss is a little better offense right now as we see it than Florida. So I think they're going to put up a few more points in this game.
Yeah.
So let's move on to our next game on the board. So Ohio State traveling out to Washington. It's a 3:30 start time right now. Ohio State's favored, but wow. The line started at 13.5, but now it's down to 9.5.
Yeah.
So some of the money's starting to go into Washington, which that's a big point spread.
Yeah,
Washington's a very
for
good.
Washington to cover.
Yeah, Washington's a very good team here. They got a good quarterback, Damon Williams, and Jonah Coleman is the running back, who's right now is looking like a stud.
Yeah.
So Washington is a sneaky good team in this Big Ten here.
Yeah.
I think this is a lot better of a matchup than what people are thinking. They're thinking Ohio State's going to go out there and blow them up.
Yeah.
So how do you see this game going out?
Ohio State coming off of a bye, off of a workmanlike win over Ohio U, which might be a good thing. But I think Washington's going to come out and going to give us some trouble. I think Washington is good enough to keep this game close, at least for 3 quarters. I believe Ohio State will pull away from Washington later in the game. I think Ohio State's the better team. While they are traveling west, they catch a break that is kind of a 3:30 game because you're used to playing at noon anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
So
Then they have the bye week, so they're not forced to get out there and travel.
Yeah, you had the bye week, so you can do what you got to do to get acclimated. I think Ohio State gets it done. I think they cover. I think they'd cover that higher spread. You know, that's not. Let's be honest. You get beat 28-14, you're not really getting clobbered. You know what I mean? To me, that's a good football game. I mean, Washington's a solid team. They can keep it close. I just think Ohio State is 2 touchdowns, 17 points better. But, you know, Washington last year worked some magic against some teams too. So, I mean, they're a tricky team.
Yeah. Washington has a decent to solid defense.
Yeah.
Pretty good offense. I think they, like you said, they're going to hang around. And I think that fourth quarter is where Ohio State's going to wear them down with their playmakers that they have. The defense is going to tighten it up in that fourth quarter. I'm going with Ohio State covering. They're going to beat them by that 9.5. I'm with you. I'm thinking I'm going to go with 34-17 score in there is kind of where I see where Washington in the first half makes it look like it's going to be a very good game. And then I think Ohio State in the end is just a much better team, better offensive line, good running backs, and that exceptional receiving room there with Jeremiah Smith, who's taking off and looking like he's, one of them Heisman winners right there. He's looking very good.
I'm going to go 35-21. There's just too many weapons. We got 3 games in for saying he's looking very mature back there. And looks like we can start turning around handing the ball off to people.
Yeah.
So I believe we're going to hold a little bit of a size advantage on Washington. I think 35-21.
Right.
Buckeyes.
Right. So for a little fun here, let's have one more game. It's actually a Friday night game. It's number 24 TCU's going to travel and play Arizona State. This is a good matchup. Sneaky good matchup for this Big 12 here. Yeah. Both these teams need this win. So this is a tough game here. Arizona State is a home team here. They're favored by 2.5 points. Over-under is 54.5 here. How do you see this game?
I see this being a very exciting ball game. TCU, one of those teams I had mentioned was going to be a much more improved team. To this point, they have proven that. Arizona State took one on the chin earlier this year to Mississippi State, but I think they've righted the ship. Might have been feeling themselves a little too much, and hey, slowly Mississippi State and just got upset in that game. Here again, I think Arizona State's the better team. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Arizona State is definitely the better team here. TCU, this Josh Hoover for TCU is 1,000 yards passing, 11 TDs, 2 interceptions. This kid is pretty good here. Yep. TCU, like you said, is a team that when we look back at them and grade them out, they're a much better team than what we thought coming into the season here. But I'm sticking with Arizona State. This team is kind of like Penn State. They got so many guys returning back. Sam Leavitt, Jordan Tyson. This team has got some studs on their team. And I think Arizona's the team that's going to contend for this Big 12 championship here. I got Arizona winning this game. It's only right now, the spread is 2.5 for Arizona. They're going to cover that. I think they're going to win by 37-31. I better change that. Yeah, 37-31 is going to be my score. So I'm going to be just under that 10 points, but I think they're going to cover.
I'm going to go with a 38-26 win by Arizona State. I think Arizona State's that much better. TCU is going to show themselves well, and they're going to have something to say in this Big 12, mainly as a spoiler. But it's going to be a really good football game. The Big 12's got some excitement coming up after a train wreck of a start for them. Hopefully they'll get it straightened around.
Yeah, I like Arizona to win this game here, cover that spread easy. Over-under is going to be, I don't know if they'll get up to that, but I got them covering. I would bet on Arizona State to win this game.
Yeah, I think the safest bet is to take Arizona State to win the game because you never know. They could score 100 points combined, or they could go 30. You just never know in the Big 12.
Right. So, all right, well, that's going to wrap up our picks. Let us know what you come up with. Like and subscribe is very easy to do. Let us know what your best matchup is. Let us know who's going to win the games here. Who do you got? Who you betting on? Those are the teams we're betting on. That's who we want to win this week. So we'll catch you next week.
Peace.